Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to almost 50% of first marriages. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Divorce Happens, a podcast to educate, inspire, support, and yes, make you laugh through divorce and beyond so that you can start fresh on the next phase of your journey. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce.
You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Hello. Welcome back. We are here today with one of our Fresh Starts experts, Laura. Laura, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Olivia. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Laura Lorber. I'm a mediator and parenting coordinator. I am that mediator that you call when everything is about your children. When you seem to be getting stuck on talking about everything else other than your children. That's when you call me in. That's really my focus.
So important. The work you do is life-changing for so many reasons.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited to chat with you today, personally, also professionally, because you have some really fantastic tips to support yourself within triggering conversations, which I would say divorce is 99% triggering conversations. Okay, Laura, so I'm ready to sit
Yeah.
back and listen to your tips. So what
Okay.
let's hear it.
All right. Well, cool. So, I love that, you said everything about divorce is triggering. So I wrote that, I thought this conversation through both in terms of your soon to be ex, who maybe is sending you parenting communications that are driving you nuts, and your attorney, because, face it, it can be very triggering to get that email or that text message when you're trying to live your real life. And all of a sudden you're being pulled into your divorce by your attorney. Yeah, so my talk is in two parts. One is kind of the practical side and really understanding what happens when we get triggered and what we can do to mitigate that. And the other is really about tapping into some of the neuroscience about how we can reclaim our power and not being so reactive. So, the first thing I want to tell you is that when you get that triggering text message or email, you get the spike of cortisol, and it can take you 72 hours, 3 days to get out of your emotions and be able to logically think about that. So, I can almost hear my clients saying to me, "But Laura, the court order says I have to respond within so many hours." Well, great. Your response is, "I received your communication. I will get back to you at this day at this time," which happens to be 3 days from now. You have fulfilled your court order. You have taken back your power. You can take that message and just put it aside for now. But one of the things that really, I guess, destabilizes this, makes it really hard, is when we have our communications mixed in with every other communication. So it's really important to silo these communications. You can create an email just for your attorney and only have divorce-related email in that email. You can get a co-parenting app, or if you don't want to do that, there's a lot of reasons to have them and a lot of reasons not to have them. Then just pick a messaging app that you don't use for anybody else. You can use WhatsApp or um, I have a Google Voice number, and that only goes to your soon-to-be ex.
Smart.
And then you turn off all notifications. You're the one who chooses when to engage with the text and the emails. It's not the other way around. And then again, okay, I read it. Maybe I make a few notes for myself. I tell them when I'll get back to them. I put it aside and I move on through my day. All right. So now we know the practicalities, but let's face it, we're triggered. We're so whatever it is, like now I have to go back to work. Now I have to be a mom. Like what? So let's talk about some tools to bring you down in this time. So the first and most powerful, I think, is learning to breathe. Isn't that funny that we have to learn to breathe?
Mhm.
I had to learn to
Me
breathe in my
too.
30s,
Me too.
and it was insane. If you've never done a belly breath, I can't really show you too much, but the best way is you take your right hand, put it on your heart, take your left hand, put it on your tummy, and then breathe first into your tummy and then into your chest. So let's just take a moment and try that. Were you able to even get your tummy to go out? Like maybe you weren't. So it may take a few times to until you can get that tummy to release. That's that whole flight or fight thing. It doesn't let you get into your body. And so the best way to practice this once you figure out that first few times how to get that belly to expand is when you're at a red light and you have that lap belt going from your shoulder to
Mm.
your lap, just take a few breaths. And that's the really cool thing about breathing and mindfulness and everything. Like this whole thing about you have to meditate, you have to be on the mat. Like, that's nice. One day you'll get there, but you know, mindfulness doesn't have to look like that. It can simply just be taking 3 breaths when you hit a red light.
I love that.
So, the next thing that we want to do is we want to take those emotions that we're feeling in our body and we want to shift to a curiosity so that we can engage our brain. So we're not being flooded and feeling our emotions, we're thinking about our emotions. What we call this is we're going to name it to tame it. And the easiest way to do this is to get an emotions wheel. So whether you get a like cute little app or you download something off the internet, Etsy has a million beautiful ones. And the motion wheel has 3 layers. And the middle layer, the biggest layer is like the big emotion. I know I feel angry. Okay, well, that's a start. But why? So then you go to the middle section and it's anger is broken down into maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're this, maybe you're that. Okay, so that's getting better. So now you go to the outer wheel, which is super detailed. And then you get down to, you know, I don't have a wheel in front of me, I probably should, but maybe it's something like you feel disempowered, like
Right.
like somebody has taken your power away from you. Oh, okay. So now we can think about that, and we can think about what do I need for myself to feel more empowered? And all of a sudden, I'm not living the emotion, I am thinking about what I need. And now I can start thinking about how to write that email or that text message back. And I keep talking about getting out of our emotional brain and into our logical brain. So I love Dan Siegel has this visual. And it is just every time I see it, it's so powerful to me. So I'm going to share it with you. So he talks about like, okay, so this is right here is our model of the brain. It's very fancy, right? So here is your brain stem. Here's your brain. Right here, this is your emotional brain. This is where you know, we get excited, the fight or flight, the happy, sad. This is kind of what makes us a human, right? This is the executive function. Lets us plan, lets us think things through logically. When we get triggered, we haven't named it to tame it, we literally flip our lid and we lose access to this part of our brain. So, why would I try to answer an email when I don't even have access to this part of my brain? So, take the 72 hours, do the breathing, name it to tame it, wait until you can access that part of your brain, and then come back to it.
I love
So,
that.
those are really my tips. I hope they're helpful.
They're great. Those are great. You could use them for anything, really.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be divorce related. It doesn't have to be your lawyer. It could be anything that you get that just drives you up a wall.
Yeah,
We
I
all
love
we
that.
all have those moments. Okay.
So, Laura, you are a mediator. What does that mean in terms of people who are listening to this episode who might want to work with you?
Thank you. Yeah, what that means is that when you feel like you're stuck in conversation, and there's something that's keeping you from moving forward, that's when you call in a mediator. We are experts in conflict between multiple people. So I like to say it's kind of the nexus between law and psychology. You have to know a little bit of both in order to get it accomplished. Now, of course, you can mediate your entire divorce, which I do. And also, you can mediate just little parts of it. Often, divorces get really gummed up because there's just something that's not working. Um, and that doesn't mean you have to give up the litigation process. You have to talk to your attorney and you have to make sure it's part of the strategy and the other party has to agree. But um if you can't agree on a parenting schedule or the way that you're communicating, and then it just goes right back to your attorney. I get cases all the time where the court just says, "This case is too high conflict. We're not sure what's going on." And I work for with the family for a day, and
Yeah,
we
really
move
important.
forward.
And you can use mediation post divorce too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where the parent so I also do parent coordination, and so that's usually either really high conflict in divorce or it's post divorce, and that's where we might look at, do you need to modify your parenting plan? And what other information do we need to figure out why this parenting plan isn't working? I like to call my role as a
Mm,
parent coordinator the Uber mama because, and we would negotiate every part of this, but couples may give me the authority to make a decision when comes down to mom and dad and they can't agree. And usually the way that we do that is that we start by talking to maybe the kid's teacher, maybe a coach or a school counselor. Sometimes I will talk to therapists. It all happens. It's happened to me where you get a therapist who, helps you stay in your victimhood. Well, that doesn't
yeah.
help anybody. So if I'm doing a full divorce, it can only be in California. But um, if I'm just modifying for you or if I'm working, if I'm just doing parts of a divorce, then I can work anywhere. I'm 100% virtual. I like to say that I'm very
Mm,
comfortable mediating at the edges. So my clients often are dealing with substance abuse. There has been
mhm.
past domestic violence. Come talk to me. I've probably dealt with it. It's one
Laura,
of
we
those
appreciate
things.
you so much. You can find out more about Laura by clicking the link in the show notes. Thank you for stopping by and for these really helpful tips, Laura. Divorce Happens is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the only divorce registry platform for everything you need to begin again, including home items, hype team, and everything in between. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh. We're here to support you before, during, and after divorce. Head to freshstartsregistry.com for more info.